Okay, looks like we're back. We're back in the system. Just had a lovely long chat with my friend Roger. Hi mate, Roger, talking about Claude and how stupid he can be. Sorry, not he, it. It's not a he, it's a machine, it's a bag of algorithms. Right, back to this. Where were we? We are. Oh, I see some problems already. And we're back in the same situation that I mentioned a while ago. We have rendering problems. I'm not sure if you can see this here. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit here because this is where it matters. This is where it matters. You see how we've got. Let's start at the top. This is where the chaos begins when you're trying to do these types of terminal user interfaces, and you're trying to make the colors interesting and excuse me, useful. Well, we have a problem here because look. You see that we go post. See the highlight for post is there, but it kicks off after the delete. It's gone. And that is because we are escape characters in there. But it comes back when we have options. You see the options, but then it stops again after the end of the 401. Now the reason why is because it is very lovingly putting in escape characters in there to stop it. That's basically an ASCII stop code. I'm not sure. I can't remember what it is. It's some / combination of something. But anyway, that's why some of them don't get past the last letter of the first colored section. You see the background just disappears, and then it stops again on those that like options that don't have any coloring on the head, and it's on a 200. The whole thing is lovingly highlighted until we get to the gray over on the right hand side, and I'm actually in the way here. So if I can scroll down, let's show you what that looks like. You can see that stops at the top, right? So this here is ASCII code color problems, and it stems from how you are spacing these things, particularly in the way that Bubble Tea uses tables. It kind of spaces things out. It's all rendered as a string, and you use slices effectively to render each different column, and when you color those slices, it messes everything up in terms of spacing, and then you try and do compensation, and then you end up with this kind of mess. So I think what we're going to need to do is first of all tell Claude that we have this problem. We have this problem, and that we need Claude to understand why this problem is happening. Takes a while to understand it. You're trying to debug this. It's like, why is it broken? It all makes sense, and you spend 5 hours going round and round and round and round and round trying to figure out which escape character has done what and where, and particularly if it's all procedurally generated. It's like, this is not easy. So having been through this, I know exactly why this is happening, and I know how to put a stop to it from the beginning. It might mean just dropping off, because I couldn't get the LLM to do this last time either. I couldn't get it to figure it out, and I went round and round and round. Now, maybe because I know what the problem is and I can solve it myself, maybe that will be the option here. I don't know, but I'm going to give some explicit instruction here to. This is rattling around in my ear. I'm wondering if it's right there. Yeah, that's much better. Anyway, sorry, the cable on my headphones is just rattling around my ear, and it sounds like crazy. I'm not a fan of this mobile setup, to be honest. Not a fan. I'll figure out some better stuff for tomorrow, maybe. Here we are, trying to get colors in, and now we're ready to pull up our, which one are we going for? Yeah, this is where we should be. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some screenshots of this for Claude, so we can be very, very specific. All right, so I'll do this one. And then I'll do another screenshot that shows the problem in another form. And then I'll do one more. Okay, great. I think I've got enough evidence here now to give the LLM at least a chance to be able to fix it. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit grindy. I probably won't do that stuff on camera if I have to, because it's going to take a while to go backwards and forwards. Otherwise, I can hopefully just again tell it to pay very close attention to the reasons why vacuum is built the way it is and why things have been done the way they have, because this problem has already been solved. Already, after much pain. Much pain. Okay, Claude, we're going to do some work on these colors because the table is not rendering correctly. It's not rendering, I mean, it's rendering fine in the fact that everything's rendered out where it should be, but the colors are really messing things up a little bit. It's because of the use of ASCII codes. Let me show you a couple of examples and I'll explain what's going on. All right. If you take a look at these images, you're going to see that, like for example, some of the rows are one of the rows. If you look at like options, or actually, let's not be vague here. I'm actually gonna go and rename these files so we can give very explicit instructions, because if it messes these up and it gets misunderstood, we could be off for a ride around the houses. So when we do this, I'm just going to give these the image names of 1, 2, 3. So 1, let's rename it. 1.png, 2.png. And then we'll do 3.png. All right. In this example, you can see that everything looks okay, but it's mainly because we don't have any formatting on the response code or on the method. You can see when it gets to the duration that the background just cuts off and doesn't complete to the end. Let's do another one. Number 2. Which is delete. This is the delete one. If you take a look at this image, number 2, you can see that the background highlighting doesn't even move beyond the end of delete, and it completely stops dead. And then let's just make sure we got 3, and 3 ends at the status. And if you take a look at this image, number 3, you can see that the highlight ends at the status code, which is the last color in the line. Where what we've done here, Claude, is we're putting escape codes as resetting all the color. So it's effectively resetting everything, and that means removing all background coloring and everything like that. This is the problem. One of the problems I was talking about when I asked you to look at vacuum and make sure that you'd implemented the same design that vacuum had to prevent this from being a problem. So what I'm going to ask you to do is go and reread that code, specifically looking at this particular problem and see how it has been achieved in vacuum. And then look at how we have generated our code, reread our code, and decide what we need to do to fix it. All right. So that's going to give at least the LLM a fighting chance before I have to get in there and start mucking about with it again. And it's a combination of raw ASCII codes, lip gloss codes. Actually, let me give that context. It results from my if my recollection is correct, a combination of lip gloss and raw ASCII codes for colorization, because lip gloss tends to be a bit coarse when it comes to fine grain control, and so that's why we've got the designs that we have in place. So please look at why we've mixed and matched them and discover that there's a reason behind it, and it's not just because we felt like it. All right, let's go, Claude. Let's go. Let's see what we got. What have we got? What have we got, huh? Combobulating. I don't know what you're combobulating. What are you combobulating? What are you combobulating, Claude? What are you combobulating, huh? You're absolutely right. You know what that means, everyone? Not that no one's watching, but look, that means... Absolutely right. How many is that? 4 times today? Let's see what Claude is learning. You're absolutely right. The problem is that lipgloss.render includes the reset code that clear all formatting, including the background color on the selected row. You see that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between. Look. See that? That is why. Aha. I see it now. Vacuum only colorizes non-selected lines. And this was one of the most brutal lessons that took a long time to understand. That when you start mixing and matching, when you start, things are a problem. So, thank you, Claude. Thank you for seeing that pattern, because it took me a very long time to figure that out. Much longer than I would like to admit or care to admit. But now I have admitted it publicly. It took me about, I'd say at least a day. At least a day. Maybe 2 days. It was painful in places, because you'd make all this progress, you get so far, and then it just wouldn't work. And then the worst thing was actually Windows. Trying to get this thing looking right on Windows, and it hurts my heart thinking about it now. But I learned so much. Okay, perfect. The fix is in place. Here is what I changed. Lipgloss.render wraps text with ANSI codes. Yep, because it's all ANSI codes. That's all that is. That's all this is ANSI codes. It is, if you see it, without all the colors, it just looks like absolute It looks like the longest regex you've ever seen. Regex, sorry, not regex. I can't stop saying it. Regex just doesn't feel right to me. It never was regex. Fight me. Fight me. So now we only colorize the non-selected rows. Everyone, we do not colorize what has already been selected because that absolutely blows up everything. Individual elements in selected rows are not colorized. They should not be colorized. We shouldn't be doing it. This prevents any reset codes from breaking the background highlight. Please, 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 please. Cheese. We are going to rebuild. No, we are. Yeah, is that the right one? That is the right one. We're going to rebuild. We're going to rebuild. And this might be solved. Which means we can actually move on. I'm all right with this for the moment. It's not bad. It's not bad. We can iterate on this later. Quit. Let's build. Build. Let's clear this up because there's a lot of rubbish in there. Horrific. Oh, that's, oh look, oh, it's still not right. It's still not right. You are kind of broken still. Still kind of broken. Not broken, but very broken at the same time. See, we've got a new interesting, weird problem now. Look at this. There's a rogue escape code somewhere. First line is fine, and we've got random posts uncolored. We've got random durations that are uncolored. We've got one path that is colored. Let's move it down. As we move it down, you can see like the post and the delete is gone now. Delete is gone. You hit delete, it's gone. Head, delete. When you put delete on there, they all disappear. Get, post. When I put, they all disappear. Oh, so it seems to be when you're on that line, there's a few things going wrong here. There's a few things going wrong here. And I'm going to give these instructions if we're going to go and take a look at some search code because this is going to take a while. Yeah, let's just take a screenshot here. So I'll post. I'll do this. We'll call this A, B, and C, and D. It's A. We go down to delete, that's B. Yeah. And we go to head. Post. Get. There we go. And then we've got that. Alright, great. Great. I've got 3 screenshots here. I'm gonna call them A, B, and C. Actually, no, I'm just gonna call them 1, 2, and 3 because they're the ones that are gone now. 1, 2, and 3. It's actually quite a lot of fun is sending these screenshots to the LLM and letting it look for itself. You know, it's the same kind of thing that you give when you give control to like Playwright and you can control a browser. You can see, you know, as well as it can. And here, it actually helps quite a lot when you can tell it. Like this is what it looks like because it can't run this because it doesn't have TTY support and Claude Code. Yeah, there's ways around it, but I just can't be bothered to set it all out. Not right now. I'm too busy. I've got to get this done. And there's ways to solve it. Alright, where are we going? Ooh, that's the wrong one. We need to go back there in a minute because we've got loads of searching goodness to have a look at. Loads of searching goodness. All right, Claude. Okay, Claude, you solved that problem. Great. We have moved forward, but we have created a new problem. and it's just as interesting. Let me present you picture number one. In picture number one. In picture number one, you can see that the first item is selected. Everything looks good. It's also a post method, and every single other post method has lost its coloring. Why is that, Claude? Why has it lost its coloring? Okay. Now let me present you picture number two. Picture number two. In picture number two, you can see that we have the delete method, or a delete request selected. And all the other delete methods have lost their coloring as well. But everything else is fine, or so it seems. And then let's do the last picture. And now on to picture three. You can see that we've got a get method here, and same thing. All the other get methods have lost their coloring. Another thing I'd like to draw your attention to is the seventh row down, which is a delete. And you'll notice carefully that the path is colored or dimmed, like the duration that preceded it is. So there's something wrong going on there. It looks like we're not fully terminating something. So please do a deep dive and look into why these problems are existing. And when we do highlight, we are losing colors of the method that we're currently selected on. So there has to be some kind of small piece of logic that is doing a catch-all and removing everything versus just the one we're selected on. And that's my prediction, is without even looking at the code, it feels like we're saying, whatever's selected, skip that as part of all iterations, and it's like a catch-all instead of being very specific about the selected indices. We need to have it look at that and go, it's probably going to say, you're absolutely right. If it does, you know what that means. You do know what that means. Love being absolutely right. I wish you didn't have to tell me that so often, though. I wish you'd say, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. You're completely wrong. There's a better way to do it. Oh, I'd love to hear that. Excellent catch. I see the problem immediately. The issue... Oh, don't. Calm down, mate. The issue is in the row identification logic. I'm using rows cursor 0, which is the HTTP method. Is a catch-all. It's not unique. Many rows have the same method. I freaking knew it. I knew it. I smell it. So, when I do strings.contains line selected line, the selected line equals post. Every other post is also removed, and so on and so forth. Exactly right. Very amateur junior mistake to make there, Claude. You should have known better, but, I make stupider mistakes myself every day. I should know better too. In vacuum, rows cursor 0 is a location field. Yes, that is unique, but in Harific, I need to use something unique, of course. So you literally just copied it. You didn't read it. You just copied it. All right. Well, I'm thinking, okay. What's this? MS. What's this? What is this? Oh, no. It could be longer than MS. Stop. You need to understand that requests and responses can take longer than milliseconds. They can be seconds, or even in some extreme cases, minutes. I haven't yet heard of API calls taking hours to respond yet, though. That's something I haven't experienced myself. But minutes, yeah. this lovely duck thing. I feel very what's the word? I don't know what word I'm just trying to come up with here. Executive. Not that executives do this or wear these. More like an airline pilot, I guess. Alright. I fixed both the issues. Now have you? And the duration detection. It was too naive. Matched anything that ended with S or MS. 10 digits including pass. Like, look at that. Solution. Created a proper duration validator that requires a string to start with a digit. Okay, so you put some thought into a regex. Regex. It fixes the. I'm not going to catch a URL. I'm not going to catch anything with S or MS. Very distracting things because there's noises and sounds and bangs and all kinds of stuff all over the place. No one's here anyway. There's nobody here on a Monday. Roger's here. Roger's here, my friend Roger. All right. I think this is reasonable. Let's go back and see. Let's go back to where it all began. Let's see what we see. Go build. Come on. Let's do it. Oh. It's perfect. It's exactly the way it should be. We're going to commit this and then we're going to go look at some search because this is exactly what it should be. Beautiful. Page down. Look at this. Page in. I'm not sure how well that's rendering on the stream, but it's very fast. Hundreds at a time. Pages and pages and pages and pages. This is very fast. Lightning. Thousands, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. Look at that. It's like lightning and it looks pretty good now. It's not great yet. Not yet. But what's this? 302 found. Okay. Why have some of them got codes on them and some of them don't? We should make that a flag. Oh no, a switch. We need to put up. Okay, we need to start putting some switches in a minute. First, let's do this. Let's do this. Clean it up. Let's clean it up, and then we'll commit it, and then we'll put in some search code because this is good. I'm actually really happy with this now. In terms of we've moved it up significantly from where it was earlier on. It's still rendering like crap in places, but it's looking good. And looking better. And we've got all the hard colorization stuff out of the way. Now it's just like a bit of fun. The table is actually the hardest. Alright. See, those images really help. They really help with the diagnosis and things like that. What am I looking at? What was I looking for? That's right. Cord. Can you run the performance-code-reviewer agent and just make sure everything is looking clean and in place before we commit, so we can then move on to the next set of challenges? I think part of the problem I'm experiencing with this thing in my damn ear is that it's actually rubbing on my zipper. That's what it is. It's rubbing on my zipper. Well, plug this damn thing, and I am going to. Oh, I'm going to go silent for a second. There we go. There we go. I've pulled it under hoodie. A lovely Splunk hoodie. Now it's not rubbing on my zipper. Drive me nuts. Sound like in my ear constantly. Oh, it's an awful sound. What we're doing is we're running the performance code review. Reviewing all of the colorization code that we have built. It's looking pretty sharp. I am actually very happy with what we got so far. We made good progress, and we're making good time. We still have a lot of work to do over there, but it's looking better. It's looking better. We're going to need to generate some different types of HAR files that have bodies that aren't just base64 encoded blobs, which is just what we have right now with HARGen. So you need to add another flag to say generate, random JSON objects with just, I don't know, about cakes and burgers or something fun. We should actually keep the HARGen in there. I think HARGen is good for Harific. HARGen. HARGen. Love it. It makes me laugh because we have an internal tool that my friend Roger, I keep talking about Roger, is building or leading an initiative internally to generate SDKs that we need that are very specific for our needs internally. Cisco, I mean, when I say our needs, I mean Cisco. And it's called API Gen. And I've had about 4 different tools in the past called API Gen. It just seems to keep coming around again as a name. And now the LLM has gone and created HARGen. I think just Gen and the postfix just makes it everywhere, doesn't it? Gen makes sense. HARGen, API Gen. I want money Gen. I want cash Gen. How'd you get cash Gen? You got to build some software and put a little sparkle emoji next to it and say powered by AI, and then you'll make some cash. And people will say, what does it do? You say, does it matter? It's got AI in it. And they, oh, here, take my money. Take it. Take my cash. You've got AI in your product. I don't even need to know what it does. I want it. And then the bubble will burst. And then everyone's going to be standing again. Where's the value? And there'll be videos like this where, we're watching AI generate all the code. I make it look like, oh, look, AI is here forever. But the truth be told, this only works. The only reason I'm able to do this, the only reason I'm able to operate like this is because I can build all this myself. I know exactly how to build all this myself. I would know how to build the algorithms. I have done it many times over. That experience is there, but I think part of, I was actually talking about this with somebody the other day, the joy of coding, the joy of engineering is tinkering, it's hacking, it's turning that knob, dialing that button and finding what happens and seeing what happens. And sometimes it's just breaks again, or sometimes something interesting happens, something that you weren't expecting, something new, something different, and it can change your perspective a little bit on things and open up a whole new set of pathways in your mind and ideas. And that's like that joy of like pushing and shoving and tinkering and why doesn't it work? I don't understand it. You push yourself harder and harder and harder to understand it. And I was really thinking about this is And there's people on LinkedIn that I've seen before that are still very, staunch in their no AI, no, I'm staying sharp, I'm keeping my skill set, refuse, I'm staying as sharp as I possibly can because I'm not gonna outsource all of my thinking to a computer. I'm not even a computer, it's like a computer that is different every time you pick it up. Every time you turn it on, it's got a different operating system on it. A generated operating system where everything works slightly differently. Not quite the same way as it did the day before. And you just got to take the render that you have in that specific moment and say, this is acceptable. And if you try and shove it, it will re-render all of it. It's like, but now the skies are blue. Why? I mean, they were blue, now they're purple. All right. So we just did a quick code review. And what is this? We fixed catastrophic status code loop. That's 100 times faster. Before we looped through 200 status codes, calling string operations 200 times per line. Oh my god. I didn't even look at that code. Okay, wow. Pre-rendered string method strings. Yeah, okay. Reliable and faster. Optimize row selection. Used URL comparison strings dot contains. Wow, I didn't even see this code that it was putting in there. This is why you've got to be so careful. I'll go and do something dumb like that. Instead of using direct index matching, which is exactly what it should be, it replaced it with a URL lookup. Oh my goodness. Optimize duration detection 10 times faster before it split the line by spacing. Dead code, pre-allocation. Oh, well, you know what? Let's see if it's broken everything. Let's see if this lovely little code review has gone and broken anything, because things were working. They were working, but after that, looking at that code, we haven't reviewed this yet. We'll do that tomorrow. I'm not going to review it today. I just want to make progress today and clean things up tomorrow. Quit. All right. Yeah, all the coloring is gone now. It's all gone. All gone. All gone. All broken. Completely broken. Oh dear. Wrestling with LLMs. Sugar. Claude, it's not ready to commit. You have gone and broken all of the color coding everywhere. Except for one random string that is now yellow, you've broken everything, my friend. I don't know what you did, but we're now in a world where the table has no color. Please re-review all the code. Please look at and look at what you've changed and why it has affected the color coding, because nothing renders in color now. Do I speak Italian? Sorry, no, I do not speak Italian. I see you're Italian. Nice to meet you. Was that Squack999? I don't speak Italian, I'm sorry. I am English. I'm an English-speaking person who is also an American, and I live in America. I know arrivederci, I think, you know, but that's, that's about it. I'm sorry. If you've ever seen Inglourious Bastards, which is a film by Quentin Tarantino, there is a hilarious scene where Brad Pitt is trying to pretend that he's Italian. And that's very much the impression that you get from me. All right. So, after Claude broke all of our colorization again, realized it was what was it? It's saying it's a Go initialization order bug. The pre-rendered strings were trying to call .render on style variables before they were initialized. Now they're properly initialized in init function, which runs after. I'm not so sure. All the performance optimizations are set in place, but now they'll actually work. I am not. Hey Squack999, no problem. Your English is 1,000 times better than my Italian. 1,000 times better. I can't read that. Vascati, I don't know what that means, but your English is better than my Italian, let's put it that way. Google Translate will be your friend in this particular scenario if I can help. But that's about all I got, my friend. Let's see what happened. Let's see what the machine did to our code. Let's recompile. Let's rebuild. Stop. No. It's not it. It's not it. It's not it, Claude. It's not it. It's not it. You haven't fixed it. Don't make me go and fix this for you. No color. Zero color. Nothing. 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 You are lying to me. Claude, there's no color. There's no color in the table whatsoever. Again, I don't know what you did. The performance optimizations have broken. Whatever it is that you've done, it's broken. So please re-review the code and see what you've changed, because I don't want to have to go and pull this all apart and undo your work, because we had it working just great until that code review. Just fine. It was just fine, working just fine. I don't know what it's done. Now they're properly initialized in init function. Here we're adding all kinds of cruft now. We're making it messy and crufty and pointless, adding pointless code. It has no use whatsoever. Let me trace through what's happening. I bet the problem is how I'm passing the table format. Let me look at what a table line actually looks at. You can't do that. You can't do that, my friend. You cannot see the TTY. Oh no. Oh no. What are we doing? Thank you very much. Subscribe. Indeed. I've only been doing this for a few days, so I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying my best. Having fun though, having lots of fun with this. What you're watching is we're actually in a live hackathon, and I am streaming everything I'm building, and it's actually a hackathon inside Cisco, which is where I work. I actually worked for a company called Spunk, but they got bought by Cisco, so now I work at Cisco. And we're doing a hackathon. And right now, I'm building something that we actually need. It's called Harific, and what it does is analyze HAR files. HAR file is an HTTP archive. You can. Oh, bye bye. You don't have any bad English. Your English is great. But bye bye. See you later. Thank you for watching. All right, let's see how Claude has done this. Let's see how Claude has messed it up even further. I told you we had a muck about with lip gloss, and you mess around with that, and it's gonna shoot you in the face. It's all fun and games until you start messing around with damn color, and then color will just come and ruin your day, ruin your whole day. Color in the terminal. ASCII codes. Yuck. Oh, it's not that bad, but it can be. It can be, particularly when you're generating lots and lots and lots of code. All right. Yes, it's slower, but it works. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what. Okay. Let's see if it works. First of all, let's see if it works, and then we can go through these fixes one by one and find out really what is going on here. Right, we got that. Let's bring up the HAR file. Bring up the HAR file. Bring up the HAR file. Quit. What's going on there? Clear. Build. Run. Color. Now you fucking right back to it again, you I should have saved the game while I was there. We're right back to these stupid color problems again. Man, I hate AI sometimes. I hate AI sometimes. I hate it. I'm throwing it trash. What the hell are you doing, buddy? Here we are again, Claude. Here we are again at this horrible state. God, we're only 15 minutes in. Claude, I need you to take everything back to the way it was before the code review, before we ran the code review agent, because you have seriously messed up everything. We need to take another run at this. I'm going to commit the code so we can try again. I didn't commit the code, unfortunately, and I really wish I had, because you've messed it up, buddy. Please revert everything that you have changed since we ran that performance code review agent, because it now the background colors are all messed up. Colors are jumping about again. Whatever you did, you ruined it, and we need to start that part again. Get it back to the state before I asked you to review the code. This is where we'll try and backtrack, but we may be out of luck here. This is where it starts to go down a hole, and we're without having to manually go and do this, which might be easier at some point. You're absolutely right. I apologize for breaking the code. Put it all back. Put it all back. Put it back to the way it was. We'll clean it up bit by bit, one by one. by bit, because you are just destroyer of worlds today, Claude. Destroyer. Destroyer. What we're going to do is we'll compact. We'll start again. Let's see if it can return it back to the way it was. Let's see. Come on, Claude. Okay. Completely reverted all of it. All of it. All of it. You tried to optimize it. All the colors were displayed quickly in the back, but it... I apologize for breaking your working code. You were right to ask. You don't need to be so... Ugh. Ugh. Beta. Beta. That'd be beta called. Be working, please. We are working. All right, you know what? I'm going to commit this. I'm going to commit the Janko code. Janko. I'm going to commit that code because... Okay. Unoptimized code. All right. Can't break it now, even if it is unoptimized. It is fully working. That is fully operational, and I'm happy with that, even though the code is rubbish or full of flaws. We can fix the flaws one by one without breaking it. Let's take this piece by piece. I'll just slow down a little bit. I was hoping we could speed ahead with search, but at least we got the search ready. Well, at least I think it's ready. I mean, we haven't even we haven't run it yet. Or at least we haven't tried it out yet. And there's still some questions in there. Where are we? What am I doing? That's it. So let me just scroll back up and see exactly what it changed. Excellent review. Let's just go back and do this one piece by piece by piece. All right. Let's fix this first. Optimize row selection. Let's do that bit first. Whee! All the way down. Okay, Claude, we're going to do this piece by piece, one bit at a time, very carefully, without being slapdash like you were before. We're going to be very careful and considerate, not break anything. We're not going to change any of the rendering output or how strings are generated. We are going to optimize everything, but we are not going to do what you did last time and break it all because you were trying to be clever. Let's start with this first thing here. I think this is critical. All right, we're going to start with optimized row selection. That is something that we should fix. Something we should fix. Let's have a look. You're absolutely right. All right, we are right. Let's do this carefully. One optimization at a time. One test each one. Okay. Yes. We're going to change this because that's... Yes. Okay, do it. Make this one change. Okay, do it. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Let's do this. Let's get it done. Let's finish it. Let's do it. Come on. Actually, we're not going to finish it. We're nowhere near finishing it. But we are making some progress. We've got color working. We're going to optimize all the bits, and then we are going to look at some search. Tomorrow we'll do some rendering and search tuning, because it'll all be in the same spot. We won't need 2 agents, and then we can work on the HTTP server, and then let's start with some docs, I think. Although really we don't need docs. There's no docs really, is there? There's just a video showing you how it works. It's not very hard. You don't really need docs. Just a 5-minute video. Not even 5 minutes. 1 minute. Perfect. The build is successful. Yeah. Let's see if it is. It is. All right, we're going to build you. We're going to build you, and we're going to run you. Well, no, it's not. No, it's not. You've broken it. No. Broken. This is. See how fragile these colors are. It's a non-breaking change. Oh, I'm sorry. You've ruined it. All right. This is not the one I want. Let's go back. Okay, actually, no, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't. We're seeing the same color being cut off at the end of the method as we were before. So what you've changed is a complete and total breaking change. Can you understand why? Without undoing it, let's not just go and undo it. Let's figure out what we've done and why it has broken. Genuinely why it's broken, everything, because this is not rendering the same. The colors are there, but the background color is gone after the majority of the methods, like the same problem we've seen before. Remember about rendering order and colorization of selected lines and all the stuff that we've talked about already. So there's some piece of logic in there that's doing some strange lookup on a URL, and something is wrong there, and I'm not entirely sure, but it's part of the pain of building these types of things. Well, I say part of the pain is part of the pain doing it with LLMs, blind, black box, like this. Ah, I see the problem now. The table output structure isn't as simple as line equals there. Bubble T library likely adds borderline spacing, separated lines. So when I calculate I'm marking the wrong line as selected. I'm probably skipping colorization on a border or separated line or extra yeah. Essentially, you're picking the wrong row. The URL-based approach worked because it actually found the line containing the row's data regardless of the table. The problem with URLs is hang on. So the problem is the problem that we're facing now. The reason why, actually, this is a legitimate problem. This is why we're going backwards and forward in this. It's the logic in how we do colorization and making sure that we don't colorize the selected line. When you're going through and like you're kind of scrolling up and down that table, what's actually happening is, the model is running constantly. It's moving the selected index up and down based on where you are and what row you're on. And each time we're doing rendering logic to recolorize after that's happened. and to know which row you're on, before it was using the URL as a lookup, so it wouldn't colorize that, and everything else got colorized, which is why it was working great. As soon as you try to colorize the selected line, and you then try and run any kind of rendering on that with color and ASCII codes, it all just goes to sugar, and you're in, a whole stew. So the solution is using a unique lookup. Now in Vacuum, that is pretty easy because every item is unique. It comes from, well, it's unique in the aspect that it should only be, there's one file name, there's one line, and there's one column where that issue begins. That's the unique identifier to say this is the row you're looking for. Don't colorize this. And that's the part that we're kind of it's how do we know which row is selected when we do colorization? Because we're iterating through the data and we're saying, oh, as we iterate through it, skip this one because it's already colorized. Everything else needs to be colorized except for this one. And it's knowing which one is which, because you've got to look at the line. And it's basically, the problem is what do I use? What do I use, before I'm trying this thing and it's wrong? I need a lookup. URL can be duplicate. How about this? Can you look at the Bubble Tea SDK, the library, take a look at the code, and determine if you can write a test that would generate the strings without having to run it in the terminal. So running, because you can't run over a TTY. You as in Claude Code can't do that. But you can run tests to see the strings that would get generated if there was a TTY. I'm hoping. Because we're not actually building and displaying the UI key. Or at least that's my theory. So that might help a lot, rather than kind of going backwards and forwards trying to figure this out. So you can see the line printed itself, because we've got to figure out here a unique identifier. And there's a few ways we can do this. But it would be a lot more helpful if you were able to see the rendered output for yourself versus having to go through logs or copy and pasting images. This would be much easier than doing this, going backwards and forwards. Just, oh no, my app completely froze there. It seemed like it froze. It didn't freeze, maybe just my iPad. Anyway, yeah, doing this would be a lot easier than going backwards and forwards with tests. I mean, manually doing it with tests would be much faster. Brilliant idea. Let me write a test that renders the table output so we can see the exact structure. Yes, that's a good idea, isn't it? And let's write a test so we can see what's coming out, and then we can figure out how we're going to, out of this, which there isn't a unique identifier to say this specific element. Because you could look at the row and say, oh yeah, I see it, I find it, I know this is the one I'm not going to colorize, skip, and then you keep going over. Because the indices don't match. That's why that code was in there, I remember now. And it is correct. code a few months ago. Well, massaged that code a few months ago. Perfect. I see the exact structure now. Oh, hang on a minute. Border road separated. There you go. Look, this is what it ends up looking like. You know, when you're applying all those ASCII codes in there, that's what's actually going spat out at your console. It's just a string of this stuff combined with text in between it, because it's, you know, adding bolding or adding an underline or adding a background color or adding a foreground color, setting the text or whatever it might be. It's just strings and strings, and then you escape, and then you re-add, and then you escape, and you re-add, and blah, 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 blah. Selected line index equals cursor plus 2. That's the correct formula. Correct. Oh, correct. Okay, let's see if you fixed it. No, that's not what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Over here. This one. That one. All right. So you fixed it. I think we might. I'm feeling confident. I am confident, and you have fixed it. Yep, that was it. Write a test, Claude. Write a test. You can't figure it out. Write a test for it. Use that code. Generate those ASCII escape characters. See it for yourself. Okay, that's good. Let's commit that code. Commit that. Tuning, colorization. No, tuning performance. That's what we're doing. Tuning performance. All right. Let's keep going. Keep going. Now, what else was there? Okay, great. That's that done. But there was a whole bunch of other stuff that you were doing. Okay, we fix this. Oh, well, all right, what do we do? Optimize row selection. Let's go fix these ones. Okay, let's go figure. Okay, Claude, now that you understand the table structure and you've got a much better understanding, because that you've nailed it, you fixed it fine, it's all good. We're back and we're working. So we have one optimization in. Now let's take a look at these ones. Said you optimized all of these where we have catastrophic status code loops where they can run 100 times faster. I am beyond doubtful that is the speed at which it will run. I am beyond doubtful. Now that we're kind of moving through it, clearly dumb as a box of rocks sometimes. Dumb as a box of rocks. Okay, let me think through each one. Number 1, status code loop optimization. This loops up to 100 times, checking 400, 401, 402 until it finds a match. Instead of checking all possible codes, find any 3-digit number surrounded by spaces and check if it's in range. Yeah. Question for you. All right. Use a regex. No. A clean exit. No. If you compile the regex outside of the function or the method, how would a string search be faster? I don't understand that logic. How can a regex be faster than a string search? Straight up string search, because there's 99 times it's actually creating a regex on the fly. Regex, sorry. You're absolutely right. Precompiled regex at the package level will be fast or faster than manual string parsing, and it's cleaner. At the package level, yes, status code regex. Sorry. Fudge. Precompiled regex. Status codes. Yes. Yes, you should implement both right now. Why wouldn't you? No, let's just stop and do nothing. Let's go home. Can't go home yet, it's too early. It's too early. Can't go home yet. Oh yeah, we're not done. We're not at that point yet. We haven't gotten to that, like, yeah. Quality, not there yet. Okay. Rendered get, rendered query, yeah, rendered, yeah, okay. I agree, those are good decisions. This is where I feel like we're going to blow it up though. This looks like a big headache for me. A big headache for me. Although they are, it doesn't look. Ooh. Okay. Just curious if using all of these strings that replace couldn't be more effective, or using concatenation using the plus operand. I'm wondering if sprintf is faster. Delete a lot of code there into string. Versus without importing string convert, why do we care? That shouldn't be in there. Why on earth did we put that in there? Into string without this already the standard library that already has that in there. Why would you build it, Cloud? Why, Claude? Why, man? Why? Why indeed? I do not know. All right. Both working perfectly. Dead code. Yeah. Place with of course. Why would you not use that? Ooh, let's go see. How are we doing? Yeah. Oh. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. breaks when we move past the first page. See that? Look at that. It's all fine. It's all fine until we move past the first page, and then something in our algorithm breaks and we can no longer calculate the position correctly after the first. Okay, so yeah, our logic is broken on when we replaced it. Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, let's go back and tell Claude. Just tell Claude. Let's tell Claude what we saw. What have we got here? I think we'll come back to that. Still not ready. I'm still not ready to tackle that yet. So I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. All right. Claude, very interesting one. It all works fine until we scroll down past the first page, and then as soon as the table starts scrolling, it all becomes messed up, and we see the same kind of weirdness happening again until we scroll back up to the top, and then we can scroll back down again, and it's fine until we go past the first page, and then same thing. So there's something happening when we move past pagination that's causing issues again. I'm not entirely sure what that is or what that could be. I think you need to build some tests that simulate that, or at least I don't know. You'll have to look at the code. I think I remember this from last time, and there being some kind of strange offset problem or offset quirk with the library, and you have to compensate for it. Yeah, that direct line index selection. When the table scrolls, it won't render the visible rows, not all the rows. So the line index, gone too far, mate, too far. Let's have a look. So line index calculation cursor breaks because the first page, cursor 0 is line 2. Scroll down, cursor 25 is line 2, not line 27. Because only visible rows are rendered. Okay, yeah, I mean that's what it is. Or at least it sounds very familiar. Write a test to determine how it is offsetting those numbers and how it is changing when you do a scroll. When you do scroll using the bubble T table, it's probably got some kind of internal cursor magic that's not doing what you think would be happening, or it's doing the right thing and you're building stupid code. It's probably that. How stupid code, because bubble T know what they're doing. Not bubble T, Charm. Sorry, Charm. The key finding when scrolled, the table always output. The key finding is the table always outputs the same number of lines, 11 total, but the selected row is not always that cursor plus 2. Same problem. The table only shows 8 visible rows at a time, so when it's what you're showing in it. The real issue, bubble tea table has selected row style applied in the output, so we need to find which line has that ANSI code instead of cursor +2. Oh no. Make me revert to the URL-based approach for making more unique to handle duplicates. It's going to have to be the exact response time. In order to stop duplicates, you're going to have to match the operation, you have to match the path, you have to match the return code, and it's the exact response time. And even then, I'm concerned it's going to be inaccurate. Back in /temp. You love to go into temp, don't you, Claude? You love going down into temp. Hey, you know what? For no reason. You know what I want to do? I'm going to copy all my files over to /temp. Even though we're in here, right in this working directory, and I'm just going to go to /temp. Yeah, let's just pick up all our stuff and go completely outside of our local file system. You're absolutely right. Matching by data content is unreliable because half files can have exact duplicates. The same request hit multiple times. That's why the ANSI marker detection is the right approach. Yes, but I see the issue when scrolled beyond a certain point. The test isn't finding the selection marker. Let me check what the table actually outputs when scrolled within our test suite. Yeah, you have to use the ANSI marker. There's no other way to be. There's no other way to know. It's just done. We're going to have to use that ANSI marker and use that as a skip. I didn't think about this problem. It didn't exist in backend because we do have unique identifiers for every single element in the table. That can be rendered in the table, but this doesn't. Oh man, we are getting into mess zone now. I either have the marker or we match all the data. Don't know. What are you doing here? Is this a test? Yeah. It is at this point, that I am starting to run out of steam. Starting to slow down. We have been going since 4 AM today, and it is now 3 PM. Pretty confident, but I knew this was going to be a problem. I knew that the table would be a problem, a massive problem, but it's one of the most critical pieces of the system. The table isn't able to be navigated. I mean, you can just remove all the color and none of this problem exists. This is all made up. This is all a problem that I've created because I want to have color in it, but I think the color is important. The color is important. you talk to my friend Roger, who is somebody who struggles with colour. I think he probably like no colour. Nice grayscale. Could do grayscale. Could just make it all grayscale. Depends how much time I want to go down this rabbit hole on colour. Just strip it all out. It's not super important, but maybe it is important. Maybe it's less important. Maybe it's more important. I don't know. I'm starting to get tired now, though. I see the issue when cursor was fitting. The table shows row 6 but row 15. What are you doing? We are doing some somersaults here to try and figure this out. Doing some wacky string matching. I remember this being a tripping point with vacuum. Eventually stumbled upon the index 0, which was the ID or the location as the ID. I don't know what it's doing here. I don't know how far down the hole it's gone, but it looks like it's pretty far. Cursor position 15. Cursor position 15. I'll be stuck. Alright, I think it's got itself into a hole here. We might have to roll back the colorization of the table because we can't reliably tell which row is selected. Building a whole bunch of tests now, trying to figure out what's going on, adding file after file after file. This is usually what happens is when it gets stuck, it gets lost. Now it's just going round and round and round. We're just sitting here waiting while it's building a test. What it's doing is it's building tests to try and determine how we can reliably locate or understand how the cursors are working inside Bubble Tea's table. I think it's trying to create tests to simulate moving a cursor through the table, and the API is telling it one thing, and this is I don't know what it's doing now. I'm about 10 minutes away from. Oh. Okay. Okay, so this is working. Let's put it to the test. I'm not confident. I'm not confident. Busted, busted, busted. I know it's gonna be busted. This is working. Yo, it is working. It is working. And hallelujah. 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 Thank you. Oh, Claude. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's good. And it was good. And that is good. And I am happy with that. That. Yes, mate. Oh, yes, mate. All right. One thing I'm going to go and do. I am change something. I want to change the table view and the title. There you are. Let's go up to you. On the border. For the foreground. What colours have we got? What colours have we got? What colours have we got? All styles. Where's all of my RGB blue, RGB pink? All right, let's put that in there. I want to put a blue border around that header. There it is. Pink and blue. Okay. All right. Now I think let's do the sensible thing. Commit this damn code. Fixing color handling with performance. Let's see what else Claude was complaining about. What Claude was complaining about. So we had a load. We did a load of stuff. What about this? Okay. Come back up here. Stanley fixed a bunch of stuff. So we've done 1 and 2 and 3. No. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what out of these haven't been done. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, Claude, I just want to take a look back over that list, and I want you to tell me out of this list what have we not refixed, because everything is working as intended right now. And we're in a good place, but I want to make sure that we address all the items on the review. Let's see, what have we got? Can't be much. And then maybe item number 6 is the only thing that we would need to re-add, but everything else I think has already been done. Let me review. We've actually implemented quite a bit. And then we're going to throw it all over to Codex. Codex over there. Oh, not yet. We're not there yet. We're just got all the foundations in for all the pieces we want. Now we need to render out the request and response a bit better. We need to add some filtering. In fact, we might get some filtering done today. Probably what I do next. Completed 3-6. No, just do 4 and 5, 4, 5, 4. Okay. Just implement number 5 first. We'll see how that works, and then we'll move on to 4. But 5 first only. Sort out the pre-allocation. And then fix the optimization so we're not going to split the strings. That seems like a micro optimization though. Maybe. Pre-allocation to, I mean, these are like micro allocations for memory, just to improve performance. I mean, that is what we're after, right? Is it to be super lean, super fast. I wonder how much the application memory, footprint has now ballooned to that we've got all that bubble tea stuff in there. Alright, almost there. Test verified. You know, I'm just gonna test it because I can't trust it. Can't trust it. Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So fine. Okay, Claude. You did good, mate. You did good. just realized that I haven't been streaming my voice. You've been talking out loud. Not one word has come out. I can't see what I'm doing. I don't have monitors. I don't have the things in front of me. I'm trying, but man, this is much harder on a laptop than it is without, a separate monitor to see. Here's what's going on. Here's what people are trying to say to you. Here's no one saying nothing to me. Nobody's saying anything. Hello from Finland. Hello, Denby. Sorry, I didn't see. I'm struggling today. I can't see what is going on with my chat, and I don't know how much of it you've actually heard over the last 20 minutes or so. I've been sitting here. You heard the music going, but you haven't heard me. You haven't heard me. You can hear me now. I learned a lot today. I learned a lot today about mobile streaming and where I've got a lot of tuning up to do. A lot of tuning up to do. We can get better at this. We can get better. My chats are not appearing for some super strange reason. I don't know why. See, it says my chat's coming through, but it's not. Oh, I see. You only came about 10 minutes ago and you started hearing about minute 5. Yeah, sorry about that. I had the wrong setting on. At the moment, we're just trying to clean up a bunch of rendering stuff that we've been going through. Colorization, ASCII codes and tables in console applications is a nightmare to debug. When I say nightmare, it's not really a nightmare. It's just slow. It takes a while, and you've got to know how to prompt the LLM to fix it and why it's rendering incorrectly. We got through it. We got through it. It's working now, and we have a nice clean slate, I think. So we actually cleaned up all the initialization issues. We have full color rendering. It's not janky anymore. It's working. But now we've got some new suggestions for some additional changes we can make. The agent has found additional opportunities. Method matching early return pattern. Okay. Return after instead of checking all 6 methods. Okay. Early return, that's simple. Replace the regex with manual byte scanning. It could be 3 to 5 times faster than regex for status codes. And let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Let's do number 1 and do number 4 first. We'll check that and then we'll move on to the rest. We have about 40 minutes-ish left on this stream before I call it a day today, and we'll pick up tomorrow pretty early. I'll try and get in a little earlier than I was today, about 6:30 a.m. Pacific. At 6:30 a.m. Pacific, yeah, which is 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And probably in Finland now, my goodness, it's like 9 p.m. or something crazy like that. And worse than that, it's probably 12 or something. It's probably like midnight by this point. Hey, what do you mean? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Number 2, better side. I didn't say that. That's not what I said. I said do number 1 and 4. Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. Hang on a minute. What are you doing? No, I didn't say do that. Are you crazy? I didn't say add that. That's not what I said, Claude. I said I want you to implement number 1, which is the method matching early return pattern. And then I want you to do number 4, which is clean up the comments. But you're acting on number 3, which is better size estimation for grow. Please undo that and return to the original plan, which is the ones I identified to fix first. It's 1:22 a.m. Oh my God, it's late. That is late. I'll be fast asleep. I'll be fast asleep at 1:22 in the morning. Fast asleep. Not hacking code. Yeah, so the reason why I'm doing all of this is because I've done it all before and I know how to do it. And I find it amazingly laborious to build all of this stuff over and over and over again. The design's pretty simple. I've already built it before. But you know, the reason why I'm doing this is because this is a hackathon, and the amount of time it would take me to write all this stuff manually would just be forever. And I've done it so many times before. It's just more fun to get it done this way now. In fact, like all the discovery is mostly gone because I know how to build all of it. And when using Claude Code, with a bit of massaging, it's faster to do it this way than it is to prototype and then go through that, you know, tuning, tweaking, back a bit, forward a bit, back a bit, forward a bit. I find I can do it a lot quicker this way. But the one thing that I did learn that I couldn't get right with using an LLM the first time when I was doing the vacuum rebuild was I could not get the table. I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you exactly what we got now, but I could not get the LLM to build it. It could not understand what was going on. I had to go and do it all manually. And then once I fixed it manually, I got it to look at it. So, oh, it's done this, you've done that. It's like, now you get it. Of course, now you get it. Now you understand. But it couldn't figure it out by itself. It could not work it out. So what I've done is I've just taken all that learning, all that knowledge and reapplied it here so we can just jump straight through it, build all the scaffolding and have the majority of the application work. The real fun for me, to be honest, the real fun for me is thinking through the problems. The code is a means to an end. The end is the problem being solved, and thinking how we're going to solve it is always the exciting part for me. Sometimes building it, you know, getting in something new and learning is fun, particularly if it's a new technology and if something I really want to build and really want to learn how to do, but I want to learn the mechanics of it, not just get it done. Here, I already know the mechanics of it. I already know how all of it works, and there's no new surprises in any of this, except for learning some new libraries and some new techniques and maybe discovering, you know, a new way of doing something. But that just comes with like the natural ebb and flow of engineering. You pick things up. But with this, you know, the hard work really is knowing what you want. It's knowing what you want to see and knowing how you want it to work. Once you know that, you know, and obviously you understand how the engineering works, it's much more fun to just direct an LLM and say, hey, go and do these things. I want it to look like this with these boundaries, you know, these inputs, these outputs, these interfaces, what it looks like inside. As long as it runs fast, it's performant, and it doesn't overload the heap or the garbage collector, I'm pretty okay with it. You know, super clever code doesn't excite me because I see it all the time. Anyway, that's just my ramble about this kind of stuff. I usually quite enjoy just going and reviewing the code and spend most of my time just reviewing code now versus building it, debugging it, mostly debugging it, and picking up where the LLM just gets stuck and can't figure it out, and jump in and go and, you know, tune up those few little pieces, and fine-grained stuff that requires, you know, thinking about where things should go, and being deliberate about the design. Deliberate about design. LLM sucks at. Now, I think, somebody that has years and years and years of experience of building all this type of stuff and knows the pitfalls can be immensely productive with a tool like Claude Code, to the point where you have as much output and as much high quality output as an entire team of engineers. That's how I find my output is today. It has gone, I'm not gonna pull the 10x, but it is not 10x. I mean, I'm not 10 more of me. If there was 10 more of me, I mean, my God, wow, that'd be great for me. Maybe I'd hate it because I wouldn't be me anymore. No, I think I'd probably hate it. But if I can take, really eager, tireless juniors and direct them and watch them make mistakes and then correct them, and then get the end result, 95% of what I'm looking for, I can fill in the last few bits and just polish it all off. And then I've got, the output of an entire engineering team. So we have now cleaned up number 4. We've done the comments. Comments are no good. I don't care about that. Number 1, early turn. Okay, yeah, that's fine. What other things were there? Comment the drive violations. Let's do 2 and 3 next. Before we do that, I am going to test this. Because I don't trust you, Claude. I don't test. I do not trust you. That's all still good. All still working just as it should. Nice. All right. We're gonna. Okay. Let's do. What was it? 1 and 3? What was it? 1 and 3? 1. No. 1. No, that's not it. Definitely 1. No, it's not even that. It's 2 and 3. Two and 3. Question from Demby. Any preferences on how to write structured Go code? Does general patterns mesh well with it, in your opinion, like the domain-driven design, model view controller, etc.? Still trying to get perfect on my CRUD patterns. There's a few patterns that I always implement, regardless of the language, when I do stuff. For example, the whole Doctor platform. We can go through the code on one of these streams at some point in the future, but it follows pretty standard patterns for like having service abstraction. So I have my services. Usually when you're doing Go, the first thing you come up against, particularly if you're doing stuff like Java in the past, I need dependency injection, how to get my services in, and that doesn't really exist in Go. You roll your own. It's pretty easy to do DI. It's just really easy to do DI. You kind of roll your own designs and all this kind of stuff. But one thing I always found is I like a clean controller architecture. I have my controllers, and those contain nothing more than just middleware and stuff that's going to be delegating to orchestration, really. It's orchestrating services or calling services or doing kind of shoving stuff in and out of structs that needs to be then sent on. So I try to kind of keep it all nicely layered. I've got a service layer, which is for business logic. And then I'll have kind of the concept of managers. and managers are lower level elements where I put state into. So those are anything that does with the database or does stuff with Redis. So you've got services and managers. That's how I call it. That's just my definition. You've got like a file manager or a this manager or stream manager or whatever it is you're kind of dealing with low level bits and pieces. The services orchestrate all the managers, and then you've got the controllers which orchestrate the services. That's how I generally break things down. You can get really, really, really dogmatic about it, but think particularly with things like domain-driven design, when you start really kind of putting everything into class diagrams, and you start thinking about UML, and it's a way to do it as a way to get the things straight in your head. But the second you write that line of code, it's all going to be destroyed. All of that stuff is useless. It'll be thrown away and you'll be written. But it helps you kind of get the model in your head. What you should do is, once you've actually made the model work with code or made it work as part of a database, whatever it is that you're trying to represent it in storage, then you generate all the diagrams from it versus diagrams try and build code from it. You'll end up with a mess, in my opinion. I've tried it many times that way. It's usually better to use code to design. So, to answer your question, how do you design it or how do you code it? Just try and keep that general pattern where if you're thinking about CRUD, CRUD stuff is below a service. It should be in some form of a data or a file manager. And what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't reverse the API design, which is what, for example, Kubernetes has done this. If you think about REST, you've got controllers, so you've got a controller and you've got an input and then you've got an output. The input is a model, the output is a model, the controller is the operation. The way that Kubernetes is designed, and lots of other systems, is backwards, where the model has operations on it. So it's actually, when you look at the open API for Kubernetes, it's backwards. Everything is backwards. It doesn't make sense. It's a horrible design for a RESTful API. It makes sense in an object-oriented or a graph design, or a graph DB or something, but not as a RESTful API. So they've kind of reversed it, where the models you would save on a model. You create a model and hit save on that, and that would then contain all of your logic for writing to and from a database. I don't like that design. I think it's an inversion of the right pattern, which would be you pass that model into a controller or a service that is, or a manager that is going to do something with it. Like here's an orange. I want to give it to the orange manager. The orange manager is going to know what to do with it. The orange doesn't know how to save itself. The orange has no idea where to save itself to. It doesn't care. It's an orange. Why should the orange know how to talk to a network? It shouldn't, ever. That's the point of why I think that we can get a bit crazy with some of these designs if you get too dogmatic. So as long as you follow that kind of prop drilling design, if you're used to doing front end, you start at the highest and you drill your props all the way down to where they make sense. And one of the things I do as part of my designs is I put an event bus in the system, which means services can talk to services, managers can talk to managers. You can pull a manager into a service, you can pull a service into a manager if you wanted to. There's no real rules on what you can and you can't do, because sometimes I need to cross-wire systems to make things work. But as long as everything is clearly defined through interfaces, everything is defined through interfaces. In fact, interfaces should be the first thing that you start with, is defining the interface of how you're going to wire, or how these things are going to communicate. I think you'll be okay from that point forward. That's the best advice I can give you at the moment, just from that one comment. I hope it was helpful. All right, so we've changed all these few things here. I'm going to go ahead and test these changes, because again, I don't trust Claude. I don't trust Claude as well as I can throw it. I don't know how you throw an AI LLM. How would you do that? How would you throw binary data? I don't know. This is still working. We've optimized those allocations. This is still working. It's still good. All right. I think we're safe. We're safe. We're out of the danger now. We're out of the danger zone. At least that's the theory. That is the theory. Now, okay. Okay, Claude. Still working great. Still good. And I want to know what else was on that list. What else did the code review highlight that we haven't addressed yet before we move on to the next thing? Co-review. I said code review, not co-review. Yeah, data first. Always data first. You've got to get that model. You've got to understand the model first. And it doesn't need to be complete. So I'm just responding to the chat from Denby. Yeah, understand the model first. It's key. And as I said, it doesn't have to be complete, but you've got to understand the basic relationships. It's like you think about anything is represented by a model. Any game, any business, any product, any process, any flow. There's a model underneath it, and that model is what drives everything. Is what gives it. And the whole concept of a state machine needs a model underneath it to be able to be valid. If you get that right, everything else is just ways of manipulating that model. It's just ways of rendering that model. It's just ways of mutating that model. It's not actually doing anything other than just, transforming data from one shape into another most of the time. That's all software is doing, is saying data in, move it around a bit, data out. That's it. It's data in, extract information, create new data from it. You've got this derived data, or you've got morphed or mutated data. That's it. It's all about the model. Get that right. Everything else is just, a way of challenging or changing that data. That's how I tend to think of it anyway. But interfaces is the key. It doesn't matter what language you're writing. It doesn't matter what you're writing in. If you think in concept of interfaces where everything communicates through that interface, you can swap out implementations to your heart is galore at that point forward. It's part of the fundamental design about design of libopen API, which still needs a lot more interfaces. It's still rough in places. And vacuum and plugins and extensions that you can swap it for something different, and it should just work. All right. What have we not addressed yet? The drive violations. Yeah. We've got to do that. Okay. And the dead code. All right. I want you to get rid of the dead code and the drive violations. Leave the optional improvements until later. Not drive violations, dry violations. DRY. DRY. Not that one anyway. By the way, I was the guy who said we've invested over a year resource, 1 to 2 senior devs to work with libopen API to find. Yeah, yes, I still need to set up a meeting with you, Denby. I'm sorry. Things have been a little bit crazy for me. Lots of things happening. I will get there. I apologize for not doing that. Looking forward to learning. I'm really looking forward to learning about what you've been building, and how you've been building it, and all that investment you've been making into the abstractions you've been putting over it. Okay, 20 minutes. How much can we get done in 20 minutes? I'm thinking not very much. We're almost done with these changes. We're almost done with these optimizations and the code cleanup. Tomorrow morning we'll do a full code review of everything in here, and most likely a code review of the search engine we haven't had a chance to look at yet because we've been too busy screwing about with stupid colors. Colors. Always the colors that takes up the time. ANSI code colors. And some people are masters of them. Like those people that can do CSS design, CSS images, and they may look amazing. Like, how do you do that with CSS? And every time I get in front of CSS, I want to burn it. I want to burn it alive. so close. So a question for you. A question for you on your implementation of libopen API. One of the designs that went into the Rolodex, which powers the underneath. It's the JSON pointer engine I've created. It's not like a full implementation of JSON pointer. I chose not to do that. I just focus specifically on how I wanted to design it, and quite frankly, I could have designed it a lot better than I did. I was just kind of rolling with it when I built it, and then realized it's a lot more complicated, and went the hard way round of building something that would be able to cope with just about everything. Not everything, but just about everything. Anyway, there's the ability to create your own file system called Rolodex FS, which is an interface, and it's based off of the standard library interfaces. So you can replace your own lookup with whatever you want. You can put databases in there. You can use it from Redis or Memcached, or because that's actually what I'm using. If you look at the doc, you can't really see it yet. Maybe you can if you look at the timeline. But I've actually built my own implementation of Rolodex FS for doing database lookups. So for revisioning, it's actually looking in the database and looking at the custom file system for the previous version of a file when it's doing a ref, just to make sure that you're looking at what was, not what is. And it's a little bit complicated, but that's what it's been designed for, was for you to build your own file system underneath it, so you can look up anything anywhere. It doesn't have to be a file. It could be, there is no file, it's all in the database. That was how it's designed. That's how I'm using it. Actually, there are files, because there are always files. I don't keep files in a database, but you know what I mean. You can replace it with whatever you want. You could go to S3. You can go wherever you like. My question is that what you've done? Have you done something like that, or have you implemented it in a different way, at like a higher level? Changes implemented. Tests, colorization, all works fine. The maintainability is there. All right, let's give it one more spin. See how it looks. And we'll commit that code. And we're going to review it all tomorrow and run it through Codex as well. Looking good, looking good, looking good, looking good, looking good. 1.3. I'm going to improve that. Okay, it's good. It's good. Looking very vacuumy at the moment. We'll make it. We'll jazz it up. Oh, I see. You're still using the base path. That's the only file tweak that you did. I mean, that's the OG. That's what you would. That's what you're supposed to need, really. You only need the file system, the remote file system, customizations and things like that. If you are literally all your stuff is scattered all over the place in random, non-traditional locations, you can take a JSON pointer to and map to something else. That could be anything else. That's what it's for. But if you're just using it straight up local file system via a base path, it should work perfect. The problem, there's a fix going with the latest version of libopen API, and I say fix, it's mostly a fix. But the problem is when you're trying to load something in from a remote file system, and that remote file system then calls another spec, which is a root spec, which then has another, it's not a full reference, it's a relative reference. So that points to a full reference, which is to a relative stuff like that, which is just mess. Still gets the library a little bit messed up. I should have a fix for it. But even then, it's... Anyway. People do crazy things. Crazy things. This all works. I'm good with this. Let's go back and wrap up our review, and we can actually go and take a look at some of this search code. Finally. It's testing fine. Everything is working exactly as it should. No degradation, no regressions. Can you tell me what is left from the list? What else is outstanding? What's left, Claude? What's left? What's left, buddy? Ugh. Optional nice to have. That's remaining. This is what's left. We've done all the hard work. Cache selected identifier reduces 3 allocations per render. Currently, we're using rows cursor with an index of 0 plus rows cursor index 1 on every frame. Could cache in model only recompute when the cursor changes. Impact. Saves 180 allocations a second at 60 frames a second. Well, where did you get that from? It's just made up. It's just made up, man. Made up. Resource cleanup allocation. If check event streamer needs explicit cleanup close. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Additional comment. Yes. Fix number 2 and number 3, please. We'll come back to number 1 last. Let's clean up those stupid comments and close that m.streamer. Just check. But the second that we go in and start doing that selected identifier caching, we're going to break all of it. We're going to break the lot of it. I know it. And I want to commit everything else first so we can just sync. I don't care. I don't care about those extra allocations. I just don't care. And GC is just going to have to deal with it. We're just going to have to deal with it. Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? Claude, what are you doing? Why are you searching? Can you? It's Harific. 2E. What are you doing, mate? What are you doing? Denby asks, gotta ask some career advice from clearly a principal distinguished engineer. Anything you can share? Yes, I am a distinguished engineer. I'm a distinguished engineer at Cisco. That's my job. I am the distinguished engineer for security. Or I'm one of them. There's 2 of us. Anything I can share? Well, I can share a lot. I need a little bit more direction on what you want to know. What is it that you're looking for in terms of advice? There's a very large spectrum of things I can share. Anything from my personal rank of movies all the way through to how to pitch to a VP effectively, or to tell a story, or how to motivate a team, or how to sell your idea, or how to start something from nothing, or how to whatever. You got to give me something that you want to know, or something you want my advice on, and I'll give it to you. You're right. Let me check where the motor package is below located at the freaking imports. It's right there. And you found it. Oh, you found it. Well done. Stupid Claude. There it is. Yes, the half streamer interface does have a close method. Of course it does. I'll be calling it. I think our context is a little bit bunged up. I haven't seen your question come in yet, Denby. Are you still thinking of it, or have you fallen asleep? It's pretty late there. It's like, what, 3 in the morning now? 2 in the morning? Oh, there's your question. I see it. Maybe how to get as much depth on the technology, like I see you working now, thinking about Alex code styles, etc. What a craft building. Yeah, that's a very good question, actually. So the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now, I'm thinking what I'm thinking about, I'm talking about what I'm talking about, is because I've done this so many times before in the past, built different systems. For me, coding is a little bit more like painting these days. If you've been painting for years and you just pick up the brush and you start moving it around. But now I'm not holding the brush anymore. Now I'm instructing a robot that's holding a brush. And after years and years and years of learning how to, move the brush in a way, so I've got that muscle memory. Now I'm learning a whole new set of muscle memory I'm no longer touching the brush. I can't feel it. And I'm controlling a robot that's holding it. And now I'm trying to figure out how to control the robot in a way that mimics my own style. To get to that point, you've got to really kind of build a lot of different systems that rely on performance, that rely on worrying about the heat, worrying about your stack, worrying about the levels of recursion that you're going through, about maintainability, about how am I going to fix this code when it goes wrong. That's something you don't ever really think about when you're younger or you're kind of earlier in your careers. Like how am I going to maintain this code in 2 years? In 2 years, that's forever from now. Who cares? But that's this very, very same thing I asked myself when I was building Vacuum. Was like, I'm going to be working on this for a long time. I need to be kind to my future self. Otherwise, if I can't figure it out, then who else on this planet is going to be able to figure it out? If I can't read my own code, then who else is going to read my code? So I spent a long time. When I say a long time on this particular project, was kind of being kind to myself in the future, so I can continue to add to this stuff and grow it and maintain it and get it to where I want to be, which is, an entire platform, which isn't there yet. We haven't got that point. We haven't got there yet. We will get there. We will. But it's just, like you say, going deep. It's building it and maintaining it and growing it. Not just build it, ship it, and forget about it, because you just experiment with a whole bunch of stuff and then you never really have to see it struggle, and never watch it constantly blow up from memory failures or get out of memory issues or get weird slowdowns that you can't figure out without, you don't have a debugger inside the server. You've got to be able to figure out, well, how can I do this in production? How can I figure this out? How can I recreate this locally and go in depth and do that time and time again? But that only really comes from maintaining something or growing something over time. I think that a lot of the time there's these throwaway projects and apps and even businesses that are like one and done. They're perfect for AI. You build it once and forget about it. It doesn't need to be maintained. But I think that's really where that worry comes from, is like, this has got to scale. This has got to operate under all these different conditions, and I've got to be able to maintain it, and I want to be able to expand it and grow it. So I've got to put that thinking in now, and I've got to make those mistakes early, not later. It's easier to front load those problems than it is to backload them. So, I didn't pick all this stuff up in a couple of years. I've been doing this for nearly 30 years now, and it's just years and years and years and years and years of making mistakes, years of getting it wrong, years of not understanding what the hell I'm doing and just doing it anyway and making it work backwards, and then realizing it's working backwards and make it work forwards. Have you ever built like a desk from IKEA, or you're building a shelving or something and you put half of it together, you're like, this doesn't feel right, and then you realize you've built half of it backwards or upside down? That's just do that. You just do that for years, and all of a sudden this becomes like playing with Lego. That's the best way I can answer your question. Hopefully that was helpful, because now we are at clean. I'm going to give this another go. My goal is for nothing to have changed. We've cleaned up a whole bunch of dry violations, a whole bunch of nonsense. Let's see. Let's see how well it handles, how well it does this. Another thing will be never give up. Know when to give up, but never give up. Know when to say we need to go backwards. But giving up on your challenge, giving up on this way forward. So we can't keep going forward because we're going nowhere. We're going around in circles. We need to go backwards. Knowing when to do that effectively is something else that you should practice. This looks great. David Serrano has asked me a question. Do I think I can win the hackathon, or do you think a product team will win it? Let me tell you now, I am going to be unable to win anything. I'm not doing this to win the hackathon. I can't win the hackathon. I'm one of the organizers. I'm one of the damn judges. I can't win it. It would be immoral. It would be wrong. It would be unfair for one of the judges to turn around and say, "Oh, I won the cup." I mean, how? I'd vomit personally if I was watching that. So no, I'm not going to be eligible to win anything. I'm doing this for the fun of it, because this is what I live for. I'm doing it because I can, and I've got an opportunity to do it. So I'm doing it. Not because I want to win, because I want to build. I want this to exist. So, can I win it? I've got just as much chance of anyone else winning it. But can I win it? No, I can't win it. I'm not eligible to. Or at least I'll mark myself as not eligible. I'm still going to put my stuff in. It's going in, but there's no chance of a ribbon for me. But that's not the goal. As I said, it's about building it. I do this because I love it, not because I want to win. The question is, David, do you think that this could win? All right, I am happy with this. I'm gonna take the win. We got the colors in. We got our scrolling. It's performance. We have the beginnings of a search engine that we haven't checked yet. You know what? I'm just gonna commit this. We're gonna take 10 minutes to look through it. Then I'm gonna cancel. No, not cancel. Close the stream for today. Let's go to tower. My favorite. Then we can see we've got a bunch of stuff in here. Deleted. These are all comments. Jesus. Oh, look, it's changed our calculate panel dimensions. Okay, that's pretty cool. We were messing about with that earlier, but what it's done here, I'll show you. Go to the code. And, where is it? Where'd it go? Wait, where would it go? Where was it? Where did it go? Where did it go? It's in the view. It's in line. 1, 3, 3. Oh, it's down here. That's why. There you are. There you are. We were looking at this earlier and we were modifying it to be able to get the split panel to render correctly by nudging the padding up and down. But what it's done is part of the drive violations, it's gone ahead and just giving us a nice little calculation. It's calculating the dimensions. I don't see your answer, David Serrano. Question is do you think I can win or not? Although I see it pop up now. David Serrano, I think there's a heavy bias towards AI product features. That's where the excitement is. Technically speaking, this does shine. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Anything that is AI, anything that is product based should win. Simply because it's when I say should win, that's not. Is probably within a good running of winning. I shouldn't say should win because everything is open. There is. It's a fair and open, playing ground for everyone. But yeah, as I said, I'm doing this because I want this to exist and be it's fun to build. Even though I'm kind of guiding a robot to build it for me, I'm still telling it what to do in the way I want it to be built, and worrying about the things I care about and building in the things that are important to me. So no, yes. Do I think I can win? So no, yes. I appreciate that. Thank you for your candor. And as I said, I'm not trying to win, but yeah, I honestly do think that something that's going to be in the product arena, on the AI arena, is where we will see our champions. Everyone is a champion in my eyes. Everyone is a champion. Anyone who participates in this is a champion. Anyone who gets up and does something with this time, actually builds something, actually learns something, tries to level up their skill set, tries to learn to be a better engineer, a better architect, a better designer, a better whatever. Doesn't really matter. As long as you engage, you're a champion. It's the people that don't engage, or are just saying, "Oh, this doesn't include me," or this doesn't pertain to me, or this, I'm above this, or this isn't important. Any of those people, those ones are going to struggle. They'll all, everyone who doesn't participate will be, will have a light on them. Let's put it that way. Don't want that. You don't want a light on you. All right, hype is up. Let's go. Hype is up. Let's go. LFG. Let me commit that code. Go back to... Come on, let's commit that code. Colorize, comments. A little bit of string manipulation. Code detection. String optimization. Okay. Color. No. Okay. This is all just comments and string optimization. Let's commit that. All right. More optimizing tuning. Oh, and we forgot to update the TUI as well. Clean up the har streamer. All right. I'm going to push this to this branch, the TUI branch. I'm going to publish you. And then let's go and take a look. Let's do it. Let's spend just a few minutes looking at some search code. Oh, hang on a minute. I've got the wrong editor up here, haven't I? Better AI prompt engineer, distinguished prompt engineer. When I signed up for LangChain, I put my title down. I wrote chief vibe coder, but I kind of like DPE better. Distinguished prompt engineer. Well, before you become distinguished prompt engineer, you've got to become a senior. Then you're going to become a staff. Then you're going to become senior staff. And then you've got to become a principal. And then when you become a principal, then you have a shot at the DPE title. But you've got to get to principal first. That's a long road, man. It's a long, long road. When you make the principal, DPE, distinguished prompt engineer, that's in your future. I don't have my other editor set up because I'm running in a work tree. I'm not sure if I've got it. Braid search. Oh, I do have it. I did set it up. I did this earlier. Here it is. It's horrific. I'm really happy with how that logo came out. I really like it. I love this little kind of archive, horror archive. Man, it's cute. I love that. All right. Harific search. Where did you put the code? Here it is. It's in the motor. Searcher. This is all based off of our design that we did this morning, where we were defining how we wanted to run the search, the worker pattern, the pools. So if you don't remember, or if you weren't watching this morning, what we have is we have a producer pattern. If you haven't heard of this pattern, it's pretty simple. So we've got let's say we've got 70,000 items, 70,000 entries in our half file. Now we haven't read them, obviously. We've only indexed them. We don't know what's in them. We don't know what's in those entries. So what we have is we'll create a producer that will decide on chunking up. It's configurable, actually. We can configure the number of the chunk size. We basically take a n number of those tasks and put them into a queue. The producer takes them, puts them in a queue. And then we have a pool of workers. In fact, it's not actually a pool of workers. It's just a collection of them. We decided against using a worker pool. What those workers do is they will then keep running until there's nothing left in the queue. What they do is go and grab something from the queue. But what they also do is they'll grab a block of memory. So they'll grab a 64 KB slice from a pool, and it will then use that to read in the offset of the JSON. This is the design anyway. So it means that we never go above a certain amount, or we won't explode the heap with memory usage, because we're not constantly just reading in and reading in and reading in and reading in, just asking for more and more and more and more and more and more memory. We're taking blocks from a pool and using those, and when we're done with them, we put them back in the pool. So we don't have enough memory, we just grab another one from the memory pool, 64 KB block, keep passing, get on the block, keep passing, then we're done, put them all back in the pool, let someone else use them. So we just keep recycling that pool over and over and over and over and over again for every single search. And then we stream all those results over a channel, and then we have a list of everything that matches that search. And you can configure the search whether to look in the body or not look in the body, or to use a regex. I'm struggling with saying regex because I say regex, I always have. And I know it's not right, but anyway, with a regex or whether it's a regular string. And that's the design we put together, and we let Claude go and build all of it out. And to be honest, it's pretty late in the day, and I'm looking at this and it's starting to look a little bit like hieroglyphs. And it's at this point of the day when I'm like, you know what? I need a rest. My brain is cooked. I've been going since 7:30-ish this morning, but I've started at 4 actually, so it's been a very long day. I don't have the mental capacity to read this today, to be honest. It all looks right, but there's a lot to go through. We've got the workers, we've got the patterns, and we've got this whole searcher that needs to be looked at. It's not overly complicated, but there's a lot of batch code and queues and pools to look at, and that can get a little bit intensive on the old brain. So anyone who's watching, I don't know who's watching. One more point for. Can you give me maybe one-liners from mid to senior? To staff to see. That's what I just said, right? It's like a 1 in a million to ask an actual DPE this. DPE, they don't exist yet. Distinguished prompt engineers. That's what we were joking about. I'm not a DPE. I'm just a DE. I'm a distinguished engineer. I'm not a distinguished prompt engineer. But maybe that's what I'll be called in the future. Maybe that's what this is. I mean, that's basically what everyone's watching me do right now, is just freaking prompt. I'm just prompting. But I'm prompting with the knowledge behind it. But is that the new skill, folks? Is this really, I don't know how to describe it, but we could be in this weird point in history where those with lots and lots of experience are able to take these new tools and use them like prosthetics and supercharge themselves. And those without the experience are unable to determine whether the LLM is correct or not. It's like not knowing. It's like you don't have enough understanding of what it's talking about to be able to say, what are you talking about? That's wrong. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's going to create this gap, this void. I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, I'm about to call it a day. So, if there's any more questions, please let me know. I'll give it another couple of minutes. Any more questions or any more thoughts? I'll try and answer them before I stroll off into the virtual sunset. There's no sun today, it's raining. Didn't see you in the office today either, Mr. Serrano. Where were you? There's no one in here today, by the way. It's completely empty. There's nobody in here. No one. A ghost town. Denver, you need to go to bed. It's what, 4 in the morning now? Nuts. You're nuts. You should be asleep. All right, folks. I don't see any new questions. So, if you do think of anything else, just jump on the Discord and I'll do my best to answer you. Until then, until tomorrow, I'll be back online tomorrow at start streaming probably about 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Pacific. And that's when I'll probably start streaming because I need to get to the office about 6:30-ish. Get a coffee, get set up, and then we're going to review. We're going to be reviewing this search code and digging into it and asking questions and figuring out if it's built it to the plan. Then we're going to be writing some tests for it. And then we're going to go through and review the TUI code, and finish off the rendering, and wire the search up, and add some filtering. That's what we're going to do. Until that point, folks, have a good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bugs bite, and I'll see you next time.